Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pigskin Mafia podcast. TJ's Talk Box. Now, we're going to have 3 shows this week. We're going to have the recap show, which is right now. Tomorrow, before the prediction show, we're going to have the college football playoff rankings reaction show, which that was a fun one. And then we'll have our prediction show right after that one. I don't know how long that reaction show is going to be, but I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible due to the fact that ESPN takes their time with a lot of things. And I'm never on time doing these podcasts anyway. I don't get paid to be on time, so screw it. I don't even get paid to do this. But anyway, I just do it for the love of the game of football. And what a week of football, realistically. Through all levels of football. You got the Texas high school football playoffs just getting underway this past week. The first round was over with. Shout out to my alma mater that made it to the high school football playoffs, Ingleside High School. Congratulations on this season. It was fun commentating your guys' games. I look forward to next season. And shout out to you guys and Coach Travis Chrisman for allowing myself and my camera guy Gabriel, shout out to Gabriel, who's been working like a dog to being able to help me commentate for Ingleside High School football. Now that that's out of the way, I'm able to focus more on the college and NFL level. And I don't have to commentate any more games for this year, which is sad because so it's weird. So the Texas high school football playoffs, in order to stream a high school football playoff game, you have to pay $500 to be able to commentate a high school football game. And that's 6 if you make it all the way to the state championship. 6 games. So do the math on that. That's $3,000 coming out of your pocket to go commentate a football game. That's 3 hours. Okay. And then it used to be $1,000. So $6,000. It used to be $6,000 to go stream Texas high school football games in the playoffs. And then you have to have like these so-called commercials where you have to advertise the UIL. Basically, it's like you have to advertise the NCAA. You have to advertise a lot of things that have to do with the UIL, which is, to me, it's kind of stupid, but it is what it is. But I'm here to talk about the recaps of these. I'm from Texas, Bruno. I'm from Texas. It's time to talk about college football right now, and let me tell you, what a good week of college football for me. I went 7-3 in my predictions. Not so good for JMO. 1 game out of spite, 1 game out of not paying attention to Tulane, which Tulane is one of those teams that I'm starting to think they might win their conference. They're probably going to be my favorite by the time we get done. Hey, shout out to Quinn to subscribing to the channel. I am just exhilarated with the way football has been played this week. I mean, you got old rivalries like Texas and Arkansas coming back. And then you got schools like SMU. SMU, a team that nobody really thought would be in the hunt for the ACC championship or even let alone the college football playoff race. But here they are, sticking with it. And then you got Colorado, a team that everybody was saying that was mediocre, myself included. Now they're starting to look like what they're advertising. They're starting to look like a team that everybody should be kind of concerned about. But the only problem I have with Colorado is, who have they really played this season? Who have they played this season? And Josh, shut the fuck up. Who's the best player in college football or NFL, Bruno? Because I have an opinion on college football. NFL, I could care less about who's the best player. NFL, like I said, I really could not care less, but I'm just going to. And Josh, you're right. I am going to say Josh Allen is the best quarterback right now, just solely based on what I've seen and how quarterback play is right now in NFL is atrocious already, but Josh Allen seems to be the one sticking out. But yeah, so I'm going to start off with the college football side of things. We're going to talk about the recap of last week's. Shut up, Josh. You ain't fucking Josh Allen. Anyway, moving on. We're going to talk about the college football recap for last week's games, where I went 7-3 in my predictions and J-Mo went 4-6 in his predictions. Now, Joe, we are going to talk about Texas, and right now is the perfect time. Let me tell you something. This game right here made me more nervous about this game than the Lone Star Showdown. I was very concerned heading into this game because of the fact that Arkansas has been playing really tough at home, and then the Ole Miss game happened, and I got a little bit cocky and arrogant. And I know you're not the real Josh Allen, so shut up. Anyway, Arkansas played their asses off, and I honestly think Sam Pittman is a really good coach out there. I love Sam Pittman. I'm just gonna say that right now. He is an incredible coach for Arkansas, and that Arkansas team played tooth and nail with Texas after a 63 to I think 31 blowout basically. And you gotta admire a team like Arkansas right now. Like, they're 5-5 right now, but goddamn, they love to play football and they love to play for their coach. It's kind of similar to Florida's situation with Billy Napier. At first, it didn't look good, and then they're playing for Billy Napier. They love Billy Napier. Same way with Arkansas. They love Sam Pittman. But my issue with my Longhorns right now, shout out Hook 'em Horns, is our offense is very inconsistent. Quinn's made some really good throws in that game, but at the same time, he needs to hit those deep shots. Our receivers need to catch those passes too. Our offensive line need to pick up on blocks. Quinn has to pick up on blitzes a lot better. That's one thing I've noticed over the last couple of weeks, that I've been watching film on Quinn and this Texas offense. We don't know how to pick up the blitz very well. And I hope that we figure it out before the A&M game, or A&M's defense is going to pick us apart. But I don't think it'll be that bad compared to Georgia, because I think Georgia has the best front seven outside of Texas and Ole Miss. I genuinely think that we have to stop and think about where the blitzes are coming from. We have to think about Quinn's got to stop and think about where the blitzes are. He needs to ID the mic. He needs to figure out where the potential threat will be. And I'm just telling you right now, if this offense keeps going inconsistent play, I don't know how much longer that defense can hold. Like, we have the best defense in college football. I'm just going to throw that out there. We actually do have the best college football defense in college football. So, call me biased for being a Longhorn fan. and saying that we have the best defense in the country, but the stats are there. We have the highest rated percentage of pass defense. We're proving that we are able to stop not only a mobile quarterback, but also a dual threat and also a pocket passer and yada, yada, yada. Florida fans can argue and say that, well, we didn't have our starting quarterback in, and that's fine, but the point is, Texas was going to win that game regardless, and PK knows how to fucking deliver on defense, and this is probably the best defensive performance I've seen in a long time from Texas. I think that we legit have the best defense in the country, but Arkansas played us fucking tooth and nail until the final 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, where Alfred Collins punched that ball out of that receiver. And I give a lot of credit towards Taylor Green for trying to make plays and whatnot. And I just feel like that Texas' offense is very inconsistent, but our defense is our anchor, And there's nothing wrong with having our defense as the anchor. It's the problem that our offense is too inconsistent. It's sort of like Georgia's problem, where their defense is their anchor, but Carson Beck's quarterback play is very inconsistent. It's weird, like Texas' offensive line has been very inconsistent. Like they'll play really well against Florida and then struggle against Arkansas or Georgia, or Vanderbilt. Whereas you look at Georgia's offensive play, they don't really utilize the run game very well, and Carson Beck is very inconsistent, which we'll get to him here in a little bit. But it was a great. If everybody thinks that was a horrible win for Texas, you're sadly mistaken. It was a great win for the program. It was a great win for Sark. It was a great win for Texas, because you had to go into a hostile environment in a rowdy, tough Razorback fan base that absolutely hates our guts more than they love the Razorbacks. It's just facts. And it stems back to when Darrell K. Royal and Frank Boyle faced each other in that game of the century, and it's a fun rivalry. I want to cover this rivalry more in the offseason and kind of describe what all happened to it, but I didn't have enough time to do that this past week. But what a great win for Texas overall. There was a lot of good plays that came out of Texas, but there was a lot of plays that we missed on the offensive side because we're too inconsistent offensively. Texas wins 20-10. Matthew Golden was by far the player of the game for me offensively. Defensively, it would probably be Jahdae Barron or Jahdae Barron. And for Arkansas, I'd say Landon Jackson was a massive disruptor for Arkansas. Very tough to block, very big kid. I've always liked that kid. I hope he excels in the NFL for Arkansas. And shout out to Razorback fans, They are some of the most respectful rivals I had ever come across. Ever. I've met plenty of Razorback fans that I could be friends with and drink with and debate about football with. Okay? Whereas you go talk to a Aggie, they're delusional. You talk to a Sooner fan, that's kind of like here and there, delusional, and then they're right on the money on a lot of things. And then you go to Texas Tech where they're just trash, Not all of them, but some of them. Because I do have a couple of Texas Tech buddies that actually graduated from Tech, and they're actually pretty cool about talking about Texas and Texas Tech. But just rivalries in general. And what Texas and Oklahoma bring to the SEC is new rivalries. Like, obviously, you had the old OU Missouri rivalry, and now you're gonna bring back that Arkansas and OU rivalry, but they're not playing this season. Unfortunately, I want to pay money to see that matchup. I really do. But I think OU's got to get rid of one person that is running the show for that OU football program. But anywho, we're going to talk about this team right here. Number 20, Clemson, taking on the Pitt Panthers. Battle of 7-2 teams. Possible playoff implications here. Possible ACC, or no, it was an ACC championship implicated matchup. Loser would not get a chance to be in the ACC unless there was a lot of domino effects. Me and JMO picked Clemson to win. And we did get it right, but I think I got it a little bit closer. I picked 24-21. The score was 24-20. Call me motherfucking Nostradamus on that shit. Because fucking Pitt was going to give Clemson a run for their money. I'm telling you right now, that was one of the better games in college football this week. I fairly enjoyed that matchup. I was swapping back and forth with a lot of games, and man, that Clemson and Pitt game was a fun one to watch. Even though as much as I trash on the ACC and all that bullshit, because now I'm an SEC stan, you know. I fairly enjoyed that matchup because there was a lot on the line. Winner moves on, loser is booted out of the ACC championship. And this was a good win for Clemson, in my opinion. I think this was a phenomenal win, but they have to get ready for South Carolina. That's a team to watch out for if you're Clemson. Next game, we're going to talk about a struggling, whimpered Utah Utes team taking on a 17th ranked 7-2 Colorado team who was just on a roll lately. Their two losses were against Nebraska, embarrassing loss in Lincoln, Nebraska, and also a tough loss against Kansas State. Kansas State. And I'm telling you right now, this Colorado team might get into the Big 12 and actually win the Big 12. Especially after BYU being upset by Kansas, which is fucking wild to me. So now, Kansas is a team to watch out for, is all I'm going to say. But Shedeur played a hell of a game. So did Travis Hunter, even though I don't think he's a Heisman favorite in my eyes. A lot of people look at the snaps. I actually look at the film. I think that Colorado is destined to be in the Big 12 championship. Against who? We'll probably find out this week as the Colorado Buffaloes steamroll the Utes of Utah 49-24. This is a sad loss for Utah, in my opinion. I think that the dominoes started to affect when Cam Rising kept playing, you know, and he kept getting hurt every fucking year in the last 2 to 3 years. He's just been hurt, and you hindered your quarterback play over there at Utah. And I hope for the best for Utah, and man, this was a horrible loss if you're the Utes. Next game we're going to talk about was a travesty in America. But this team, the Tulane Green Wave, who just got ranked 25th, me and J-Mo had a big debate about this. He thought Navy was going to steamroll them. I told him, no, it's going to be a much closer game. I think Navy's going to win, but I would not count out Tulane. And what happened? Tulane showed us both how good they really are, or how bad Navy really is. 35-0. Tulane is, I'm telling you right now, Tulane's probably going to be my favorite to win the American Conference now. After seeing that game, I was like, holy crap, man. Tulane absolutely curb stomped Navy in this game. But moving on to our fifth game of last week's predictions. Syracuse taking on Cal in Berkeley. You know, I should have known that this was a bad pick on my end. I picked Cal to win 42-27. And J-Mo picked Cal to win 35-27. I don't know what I was thinking here. Just an absolute embarrassment right here. Even though Cal barely lost to Syracuse, I should have known to pick Syracuse. I mean, that's an embarrassing pick that I lost. Next game we're going to talk about. This game came down to the wire in Dallas. I really enjoy this team. The SMU Mustangs, who are my favorites to win the ACC. They took on a tough and rowdy Bill O'Brien coached Boston College team that earned my respect after losing their starting quarterback after he got benched this past week. And their other quarterback is better. I'm just going to put that out there. Castellanos, you're not better than that backup. I'm just going to put that out there. But me and J-Mo both picked SMU. I had a much bigger margin than J-Mo. J-Mo had 2 touchdowns. I had a 3-score win, but it ended up being 31-28. Congratulations to the SMU Mustangs. They have one more win over Virginia, and then they're ACC championship bound, which is crazy. 2024 has been crazy. I'm just going to put that out there. Game number 7, Arizona State versus number 16, Kansas State. 7-2. J-Mo had a little rant about how, I don't know why we put this game on the tab, but I put it on because of one reason. Big 12 championship implications. You got to understand, there's more to the SEC. There's more to the Big Ten. Big 12 may be weaker than those 2 other conferences, but there's still playoff implications based off of those. There are still Big 12 aspirations in those games, you know. And nothing to take away from J-Mo, because I do agree that the Big 12 has gotten softer since Texas and OU left. But this game right here was a game to watch, and I fairly enjoyed it. Me and J-Mo actually picked the same score, 21-17. I don't have the score on here for some reason, but Kansas State was favored, but I don't know why they were favored. But Arizona State came out with a victory. They're going to face BYU this week. Tune in tomorrow after the college football playoff rankings reaction show, which I might be at a buddy's house to watch that game with and kind of bitch about the rankings with him. As me and J-Mo will predict that game as well, and that one is got a lot of playoff implications on that one. And I think this is going to determine who plays Colorado in the Big 12 championship, which is fucking crazy. If two Pac-12 teams, think about it for a sec. If two Pac-12 teams make it to the fucking Big 12 championship, two former Pac-12 make it to the Big 12 championship, and yes, CU was a Big 12 team at one point, but it would just show how much weaker the Big 12 really is without Texas and OU. But next game, this one was my game of the week. Like, actually watching it and enjoying it. This was my college football game of the week right here. South Carolina at home, number 21, looking to prove that they are not just a fluke. And these guys are one of my favorite teams to watch besides my Texas Longhorns, the SMU Mustangs, and also now Tulane. But South Carolina, okay, a team that nobody thought was going to be any good this season. Me and J-Mo predicted South Carolina, but it came down to the fucking last minute. I'm not even kidding. This was probably the best game that Missouri played, and they still lost. Which, what did I tell you? Missouri's not that great. Okay? But I have to give credit where credit's due. They played their fucking asses off against South Carolina, who is physically tougher, who is physically a better team than Missouri. I really like this South Carolina team. I really do. And this team overcame adversity. They won 34-30 last minute. It was a beautiful shuffle pass from Lenore Sellers to Rocket Sanders to run it in for about a 15 to 20 yard rushing touchdown. I mean, it was awesome. And there was like 15 seconds left in the game. It was like a back and forth slugfest between those two. I fucking love games like that, where it's not as high scoring as people want it to be, but not as low scoring as what people didn't want it to be. This was the perfect game to watch, in my opinion. South Carolina and Missouri was fun for me. South Carolina and Missouri, that was a damn good football game. And I don't care what anybody says about Missouri. After that game, they played their fucking asses off. I am, dare I say, proud of both teams for the valiant effort and battle to the last goddamn minute and goddamn last second too, because that was a hell of a game. 3 claps for both Missouri and South Carolina. Next game was a pretty decent game, I would say the least. But I picked Georgia to win, and J-Mo picked Tennessee to win. And I think Carson Beck played his best game this season against Tennessee. It was a mediocre performance by Tennessee, in my opinion. They started off great, then second half they just extinguished. The fire was extinguished, you know. And Georgia played really well in this game. They really did. But they didn't look like the Georgia that beat Texas, if you catch my drift. It was just so happened that Carson Beck played his best game in this game. But Georgia's defense did not look that great in the first half. Second half, they played a lot better, made some adjustments. I was actually out celebrating with a buddy of mine. Shout out to Jeffrey. Happy birthday to you, my friend. We were out in Port Aransas getting a couple of drinks in us. Great night. Great night. But I can't disclose what happened because I was tanked and I woke up with a hangover. But final game we're going to talk about, which was a very disappointing game. Now, J-Mo should have ranted about this fucking game right here. Cincinnati at Iowa State. Okay? I thought Cincinnati was going to win. He thought Cincinnati was going to win because we thought that Iowa State was on a trajectory of, goddamn, they're looking shitty right now. They're looking like piss ants right now. But Iowa State came out with a big win, 34-17. It was a much-needed win for Matt Campbell and the Cyclones. Puts them at 8-2. Puts them right back in the driver's seat for, not in the driver's seat, but in there in the Big 12 championship conversation, which that would be a wild scenario. So they would have to have Colorado lose twice. They would have to have Arizona State or BYU lose that game, and then BYU lose or Arizona. They would have to have either BYU and Colorado lose twice, or Arizona State and CU to lose twice. Which, I don't know. The Big 12's just wide open right now for that. But, yeah, I'd say we had a really good week. I had a really good week of college football predictions. Kyle Banks says, roll Tide. Well, my friend, y'all are playing really good football right now. And don't let me say that this is an upset, because it's not. I don't think this will happen, but there's a likely scenario that y'all drop one to Oklahoma. Now, don't quote me on that, because I don't think it will happen. I just don't think it will happen. But who knows? Who knows, Kyle Banks? It is a... I've seen weirder stuff happen in college football, believe me or not. I have seen a lot weirder stuff. And Alabama is a 14-point favorite in that game, but it'll be a... Oh, thanks, man. Do you watch the Coach JB show, Kyle? Because, man, I love this shirt right here. I had to get it. I don't know if you could see the back, but yeah, so Alabama's on a roll. I just think that y'all have to be good consistently on offense and defense, which y'all have been great. Y'all look like a worthy adversary in the SEC championship, but Texas has got to worry about Kentucky and A&M. Not worry, but focus. Just like how Alabama needs to focus on Oklahoma and Auburn, which I'm not saying it's not impossible to blow both teams out, but it's very possible that Oklahoma or Auburn could be that sneaky game where they give y'all trouble. You know damn well Auburn is a tricky game for you guys too. Like, the Iron Bowl is very unpredictable, just like the Red River Rivalry. But we're going to move on to the NFL side of things. I went 2-2. JMO went 2-1. The reason why JMO is minus one game, because he didn't actually predict the Philadelphia Eagles and Commanders game because it was already on. But I predicted Philadelphia to win, and they did, 26-18. I had 34-24. So Philadelphia's on a roll. Now, Pittsburgh and Baltimore. From what I saw, Baltimore really got dominated by... Oh, yeah, don't even get me started with the Cowboys. Don't even get me started with the Cowboys, because I don't even have them on my list of things to talk about, but I'm not even watching the game tonight. That's how fucking pissed off I am at the Cowboys. That's how fucking irritated I am with the Cowboys. But more than likely, Philadelphia is going to win that division now that they beat... No, you're good, man. You're good. I'm a fan too. I'm a fan of the Cowboys, and they just continue to disappoint. Fun fact: I was born the day after the last Super Bowl win for the Cowboys, which was Barry Switzer, Jay Novacek, Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman. When Troy Aikman and Barry Switzer hate each other, ever since those Oklahoma days. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's just pure fucking bullshit on the Cowboys side. But I'm going to talk about these 4 games real quick, or 3 games since I already talked about Philadelphia. Baltimore and Pittsburgh, always a slugfest between those two. I really enjoy those matchups. And just like what JMO said last week, you never know what happens in this fucking rivalry. And I tell you what, I was pretty damn spot on with the margin. I had a 1 point win for the Pittsburgh Steelers. JMO had a 4-point win with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was 18-16. I had 28-27. JMO had 20-24. Now this is always a slugfest, but let me tell you guys something that JMO won't admit. He absolutely despises this guy. But Russell Wilson is their best chance at a Super Bowl. The way he's playing right now, he is the best chance that the Steelers will get to a Super Bowl. And it scoffs me to say it because I think he's been overcooked. But Russell Wilson is their best chance. I like Justin Fields, but if you're gonna have Justin Fields learn from Russell Wilson before he builds up his trade value, because I feel like that's what the Steelers are trying to do. They're trying to build up his trade value to get higher round draft picks, so that way they could protect Justin Fields a lot better. But Baltimore looked like they were dominated by that Pittsburgh defense. Especially Derrick Henry with 64 yards. I mean, good God. TJ Watt fucking walloped King Henry. Like, I had never seen anybody hit Derrick Henry like that before. I mean, good God, guys. That was one of the best hits I've seen in a long time on Derrick Henry. But great win for the Steelers. They move on to 8-3, whereas the Baltimore Ravens dropped to 7-3, which they'll be playing Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers, who I'm really hyped up about right now. Very disappointed in this next game. The Falcons at the Denver Broncos. Denver was a 2-point favorite. I had Atlanta barely beating Denver 20-14. That didn't happen. JMO had Atlanta winning by 2 touchdowns. That didn't happen. Denver absolutely destroyed Atlanta. Bo Nix with 4 touchdowns. Oh, you're from Waco, huh? Shit. You're from the 254? Shit, I might have to go up to Waco sometime. I haven't been up there in about over a year, I think. Shit. I might do a show up there then. Might do a show up there at Waco. Try to get the Texas Sports Hall of Fame to have us do a podcast up there. That would be kind of cool. Let me know in the chat. If you'd be interested to go watch a live podcast with me and possibly another guest, or y'all could be the guest asking questions. I mean, I don't know. I think it would be pretty fucking cool to have a live crowd out there to talk about NFL and college football. Mainly college football, because that's... Oh, wait, you're in Alabama? But you're from Waco. Okay. I got you. That makes sense. That makes total sense. But I still want to do I still want to do a live podcast out there in the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. Of course, I'm gonna have to be on my best behavior because I cuss like a sailor because I am a sailor. You're good, Kyle Banks. You can always travel to Waco. Look, I want to do a show to one of my favorite places to go to, and that is the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. And what better way to go to and do a podcast up there than to have a sit-down interview with one of the Hall of Fame inductees that played football. You know, that would be pretty fucking cool if you ask me. I've had Booby Miles on here with K-Dub, which he's doing fine, folks. He's also watching shows all the time. He gives me critiques on a lot of things that I do and what I say sometimes. And we bicker back and forth. So he's doing fine. He's doing great. Shout out to K-Dub, by the way. Former co-host on the Pigskin Mafia podcast, which we hope to see him back on here soon, but maybe another time, another date, you know. But yeah, Denver absolutely whooped the everlasting shit out of Atlanta. Atlanta couldn't do anything offensively. It was just bad. And Bo Nix picked them apart. Like I said, Bo Nix was the best quarterback in that draft class. But nobody wants to hear that. I love Jaden Daniels, but I don't think he would be sustainable enough or not sustainable enough. Let me retract that. I don't think he is as consistent as Bo Nix, because I think Bo Nix under Sean Payton is probably the best. Yes, he played at Auburn and then played at Oregon. I think he played better at Oregon, obviously. No defenses over there, but he played pretty well for Auburn, or for when he played at Auburn. He did make some rookie mistakes, but shit, he's still a good quarterback, in my opinion. I think even though I think Jaden Daniels is clear-cut offensive rookie of the year, I still think that Bo Nix is playing really well and still playing like the best QB to come out of that draft class. You know, so take it as you will. And got some breaking news. Charlotte has fired their head coach after 2 seasons, 6-16 record. So Charlotte, one of the few arguments that me and JMO had. Oh, Brock Bowers, he went to Vegas, and he did the Trump dance, you know. Which, I'm telling you what, if Texas wins the national championship this season, I swear to God, I will do the Trump dance live on the PMP. I swear. But this last game, I can't do the promise that JMO and I agreed on, because I got to have JMO on for it. That will be tomorrow's show after the college football playoff rankings reaction show. Then we'll have the prediction show right after that, probably around 9 Central, 7 Mountain or whatever, or Pacific time for JMO. Yeah, travel, I'm telling you, Colorado's looking pretty damn solid right now. They are looking pretty damn solid right now, I have to admit. And I do have some prime shade somewhere. If Colorado wins the Big 12, I will wear those prime shades on a podcast. How does that sound, Travel? Because I know we're going to get prime sexuals on here at some point, and it's nothing against you guys. It's just you'll have a Swiftie mentality when people talk bad about Colorado, which, and it's nothing bad about what Prime is doing over there. It's really a character thing that I have a problem with, but now that they're starting to win consistently, I'm having less and less problems with Colorado's mentality towards that. But yeah, Kyle, go ahead and ask me a question before I break down the Chiefs and Bills. Because let me tell you, that game was all Bills and Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy had 16 targets and the Chiefs still lost. That just goes to show how bad Patrick Mahomes really is. I'm just going to put that out there. Patrick Mahomes right now is not a good quarterback. And I've been on that record since his fucking Texas Tech days. But people don't want to listen. They just want to look at how many rings he has instead of actually looking at his play and actually looking at what he does on the field. Oh, his fucking sidearm's great. But can he run a fucking... Can he throw a dig route? Can he throw a fucking... Can he throw a fucking post route? No, he can't. He can run fucking all sorts of shit, but... Hold on real quick. My son leads sacks in the state of Florida. Gabriel Creighton. SFA Academy. We breed dogs down here. Hell yeah. You know, Florida is a very underrated high school football. Very underrated high school football platform. And Kyle, I can see Alabama in the SEC championship. I really can. But travel, yeah, I really like Florida high school football. I've only attended one or two when I was stationed out there in NAS Jacksonville. I think I was there for either Orange Park or Mandarin. I can't remember which one it is in Jacksonville. One of them's in like close to downtown over by Riverside, and then the other one was in Orange Park. So Orange Park and then probably Mandarin if I'm making sense. I can't really remember. I'm a true Texan by heart, so I know all about Texas high school football, but give me some time and I'll learn about Florida football, Alabama football, all sorts of shit, because Alabama and Florida football have a lot of history behind it in high school sports. Really? Well, I'll look him up on Huddle. I'll look him up on Huddle. I got a Huddle account, for God's sakes. As a has-been that hasn't played 10 years of football since high school, I will fucking look at some highlights. And it's funny that we're talking. Yeah, Max Preps in Huddle. Yeah. I don't really like to look at Max Preps because sometimes the coaches don't really put all the stats on there. So Huddle to me is like the best option to look at film. Like to really break down film, because that's where all the film's at. Max Preps, it's a lot of highlights. But yeah, I love me some Huddle. But yeah, Josh Allen outperforms on 3, yeah. Josh Allen outperforms Patrick Mahomes once again and actually wins this time. And Chiefs fans are upset that they didn't get a pass interference call. Go fuck yourselves, because y'all been lucky. Chiefs queendom. That's what y'all's motherfucking asses get for getting lucky every week. But that concludes my recap for last week's games. We got almost 10 minutes to spare to just talk. What do we want to talk about in the last 10 minutes of this show? Since now these are hour-long talk boxes. Yeah. I try to do these fast and efficient, but I never get that job done because I'm terrible with timing. Um, what y'all's predictions on the Cowboys and Texans game? How bad are the Texans going to whoop up on the Cowboys tonight? Because I got the Texans winning 34-10. If the Cowboys make it to 10, I don't know. Their offense is as bad as anything. Anthony Carey for Georgia, 4-star running back. Did he play against Tennessee? What number was he? I think I've heard of him. Yeah. See, I'm sorry, Travel. I was too fucked up to even remember who scored for who against Georgia. I was too busy looking at I was too busy to watching a British guy trying to flirt with that's a funny story. So this British guy, I only know him through my buddy Jeffrey, and we were celebrating Jeffrey's birthday. It was a whole group of us, and these 3 other British guys that tagged along, right? So we're at this one bar. It's called the Salty Dog, and it looks fucking greasy. So, oh, that's cool. That's really cool. But so we're at this bar, and there's a karaoke night apparently, and these girls are singing karaoke, and this one of the Brits, his name is Scott. We call him Scotty because he does sound Scottish, but he's not. He's like really Southern British. They're like, to put it in perspective, they're like the Texans of Great Britain, where they have a really deep accent and real deep drawl, kind of like mine right now. But he grabs a fucking chair, sets that motherfucker in the center of the goddamn dance hall as she's singing karaoke. And this motherfucker is doing the Magic Mike dance on that fucking chair. Okay, Travel. I get it. So yeah, he starts doing the dirty Magic Mike dancing on this chair for a whole fucking song. I don't even remember what the song was. But I was sitting there dying laughing so fucking hard. What's your name, Travel? What's your name? So that way I can look you up. This dude was literally dry humping the fucking chair. And it was just, oh my god, it was funny, man. It was a funny. You just had to be there for that. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I lately I've been seeing a lot of people do dirty dancing on chairs from Magic Mike or whatever, and I'm just like, I wish I had that much fucking confidence. I mean, Jesus. In front of everybody there, and man, we had a fucking blast. Shout out to my boy Jeffrey Rao. Happy birthday to you, boy. I can't wait for my fucking birthday. I don't even know what I want to do for my birthday. Maybe I should. Herb Williams. Okay. Maybe I should do a live Pigskin Mafia podcast for my birthday again in a undisclosed bar somewhere with my friends and talk shop about football, since it'll be around playoff time anyway. I really would love to have that and get a condo to stay the night at and just shoot the shit about football, shoot the shit about the playoffs around that time. And who knows? It may happen. I don't know yet. But yeah. So we're past the 5-minute mark, at the 4-minute mark of this show. It's been a really good showing. A lot of people showed up for this one. I'm very surprised. Shout out to everybody for watching this show. I mean, we're at the 4-minute mark before I close out. I just got done telling the story about my weekend, basically. And I woke up with a hangover, and my dad calls me to help him with the oven. So imagine doing that while being hungover, dealing with plastic and styrofoam and all that shit, and you're hungover. You don't want to do anything. You just want to sleep, but you can't because you're just too fucking hungover. What got me through the day was watching Trailer Park Boys fucking YouTube podcast, so. Charles Oakley, nice. I ain't crazy. I get along with a lot of people. And I know how to handle myself. I've met Shane Leckler out here where I'm at. Former punter for the Texans and the Raiders. And also Texas A&M alum. Shout out to Shane Leckler, by the way. Hopefully I could see him again soon. But yeah, tune in tomorrow, as I will be doing the college football playoff ranking show. And I'll probably be in a undisclosed area. Probably a little bit happier. Not happier, I shouldn't say that. I'm happy about this podcast anyway. Probably more talkative, I would say, than I was today, even though I did talk a lot. But more adamant about a certain ranking, the college football playoff rankings, and where they have everybody in the playoff race. I mean, if you saw last week, I was pretty pissed off that they snubbed SMU and kept LSU and Missouri in the college football playoff. Yeah, definitely. And after that, probably around 9, we'll do the prediction show for week 13 college football and week 12 for NFL, which should be exciting. We already got a game of the week. That game of the week will be Army Notre Dame. Tune in for that one. We also got a very big Conference USA matchup between Sam Houston State and Jacksonville State, which nobody's talking about this SMU team, or not SMU, Sam Houston State team that's really outperforming a lot of people right now. And Sam Houston State, watch out for them. But yeah, tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time for the college football playoff rankings reaction show. I'll probably be at an undisclosed area with my buddy. And then later on tomorrow night at around 9 p.m. Central Time, we will have our actual podcast, the prediction show, where we'll have the fancy graphics and whatnot for the PNP. Tune in tomorrow. I'm TJ Riddell. Good night. Mwah. Good night. Bang.